mid-cycle refresh, and this is for the entire model lineup, not just the Grand Coupe here. But you'll find that the headlights have a more hexagonal presence this time around, and you also do have new LED headlights, and the air intake has been separated into 3 main parts. You also do have these pretty good looking 19-inch alloy wheels, which look exceptional. Overall, certainly a pretty handsome looking vehicle. When you get to the rear fascia of the vehicle, you also find new graphics for the LED tail lights. And the 4 Series can also be had in 2 other body styles. You can get a coupe version as well as a convertible version, but the Grand Coupe has been selling like hotcakes lately. Here goes the key fob design for the vehicle. You have your unlock, your lock, and to release your trunk, as well as your panic alarm. Our Grand Coupe comes with the carbon black metallic, which has a blue hue to it, and it looks fantastic. You have smart key access on the driver's door as well as the front passenger door here. Very convenient. And you also do have a full-on black leather interior with white contrast stitching. BMW calls this their oyster highlight. We also do have your power driver seat with power climb, power lumbar, and power adjustable side bolsters. Memory seat settings for 2 people. Stepping on inside of the Grand Coupe here, the step-in height is pretty low, and you'll find that the 4 Series, just like with many other BMWs, has a very simplistic interior, but superb ergonomics. And it's more of a driver-oriented interior, but BMWs have always been that way. You do have push-button ignition. Just put your foot on the brake and hit the button to start. Since ours is a 440i model, it comes equipped with the 3-liter turbocharged 6-cylinder engine, which is your optional powertrain. We do have a full leather-wrapped steering wheel, and we have the M Sport steering wheel that comes with the M Sports package, of course. Coming to your transmission, pretty standard stuff and pretty typical. You have an 8-speed automatic. BMW loves to use this transmission. You go down for drive like this, and then for your manual shiftability, you pull it to the left, and then you can go up for reverse, which will display your rear view camera with guidance signs, trajectory, and we have front parking sensors as well as rear parking sensors. You can also adjust many different settings for the rear view camera. You can adjust the brightness, contrast. You can turn the parking aid lines on or off if you would like. Pretty cool. And you just go push for park. Let's go ahead and turn on the headlights, which are already on, and fog lights as well as the hazards. Let's go ahead and check out the exterior of the 4 Series. All windows are fully automatic. Pop up the hood and check out the engine bay, and in typical BMW fashion, you pull up the hood release 2 times. Heated exterior mirrors with LED turn signal indicators. Since we do have the M Sports package, our Grand Coupe does come equipped with the sports tuned suspension as well as a full-on aerodynamic kit, which certainly does give it a much more imposing presence on the road. Coming up front here, you'll find LED headlights with LED daytime running lights, LED turn signal indicators, and our LED fogs. Front parking sensors. Love the twin kidney grille, classic BMW styling trait. It ultimately does look a little bit more menacing this time around with this new refresh. For 2018, BMW has also renamed its engine model lineup. This is known as the 440i model now, and it comes equipped with a 3-liter turbocharged 6-cylinder engine, which does produce a bit more ponies this year, looking at around 320 horsepower and 330 pound-feet of torque. And EPA estimates 21 in the city and 32 on the highway, which is exceptional. Your standard powertrain on the 4 Series is going to be a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder, and that's your standard powertrain for this vehicle. But if you go for the M4, you get over 400 horsepower with this vehicle. But for the 2-liter, it does produce better fuel efficiency numbers, but has less power. If you're looking for more power, this is certainly the powertrain you want to get, and you want to stay reasonable with the fuel efficiency numbers. But overall, this does deliver a pretty good amount of power here. Competitors of the 4 Series Grand Coupe No main direct competitors for this vehicle until the new 2018 Audi A5 Sportback is released, but currently it's in a class of its own. And pricing of the vehicle really depends on what package you get for it. For example, our 4 Series Grand Coupe comes with the M Sport package, which is nearly a $2,500 option, and then you also do have the premium package, which is around $2,000. Coming to the rear of the 4 Series here, we have LED tail lamps with LED turn signal indicators. Love the new taillight design. And you have chromed out dual exhaust tips, which come with the 440i model. Like I mentioned earlier, your fuel economy estimates are 21 in the city and 32 on the highway. You have all of your basic power necessities, including power windows, power mirrors that do power fold, and your power door locks are located up on the dashboard. Interior quality is extraordinary inside of here. You'll find plenty of soft touch and plush materials, like up on the door panels right here, which do feature stitching, which gives it this more premium and high quality vibe. And it has that German solidity and build quality that you come to expect. And the dashboard is all soft touch, of course. That is all expected inside of here. Build quality is just excellent, and there's really nothing to complain about in terms of its interior fit and finish. It's impeccable. The steering wheel is beautifully sculpted and designed. I really do love it, and this only comes on the M Sport steering wheel. Provides really great grip, and you also find your cruise control buttons on the left side here. Adaptive cruise control is also optional on this vehicle, and you'll have your steering wheel mounted audio controls on the right side. You can also shift the vehicle manually via the paddle shifters if you would like. Up here, auto dimming rearview mirrors with your integrated compass and your garage home link, and SOS Safety Connect, as well as LED interior map lighting. Your sunroof with your sunroof controls with the tilt and slide feature. Down here, dual cup holders, and you could cover it with the lid if you would like. Your parking brake. Not a whole lot of center console storage here. That is one of my major gripes about actually not just the 4 Series, but many BMWs. If you're a person who really likes to store many items inside of your vehicle, you may not like the 4 Series, but you do have your USB charging port right there. The seats are superb in the 4 Series. They provide great bolstering and thigh support. Can't complain about that. I mean, I would certainly take a long road trip inside of this vehicle. Glove box compartment is also lined with felt, very high quality. One aspect I absolutely love and praise about BMW's interiors is that they have simple and easy to use, very intuitive controls with superb ergonomics. And you can adjust your temperatures by the knobs right here, adjust your fan speed levels as well as your different zones too. You also do have 3-stage heated seats for the driver and the front passengers to warm up those cold mornings. And let's get to the main infotainment system in the head unit. This is the iDrive system, which has been updated for the 2018 model year. It is more intuitive this time around, and it features better graphics and rendering. This is your main menu, and everything is controlled by the dial as well as the buttons surrounding it. Unfortunately, this iDrive system is still not a touchscreen, unlike how you'll find in some other BMWs, but it still works fairly well. Your different audio sources do include all of the norm here, including AM, FM, as well as satellite radio. Your external media devices do include your CD player, Bluetooth streaming audio, USB port with iPod integration, and your auxiliary input. Quite surprised that they're still offering a CD player. Many vehicles are starting to drop that nowadays. You can adjust your tone from the treble, bass, balance, and your fader. We also do have a Harman Kardon surround sound system in this vehicle, which sounds amazing. You can manage your mobile devices, and you have your communication, which you can view your recent calls, contacts, dial by number, BMW assistance, BMW messages, and you can personalize your menu. Navigation system has also been updated with much better map quality. 3D rendering of buildings, live traffic, points of interest, you'll find all of that here. You can view your traffic info, change your map content if you like, and get a different perspective on the map by changing your map views. And you can enter in your destination by voice, or you could do it by the touchpad right here. And you have your Park Now feature, which you can view where you parked your vehicle last. Your BMW Connected Drive, which is for your BMW roadside assistance, BMW messages. You can view your in-vehicle apps such as your weather, which gives you a live forecast. You could change the location, news, online search, wiki, local, Yelp, My News, Flickr, Park Now. And then your My Vehicle settings, which you can switch between many different settings, such as the vehicle settings, like the doors, keys, the lighting, and you can adjust the safety technology for the frontal collision warning. You can adjust the warning time. iDrive settings, which you can change settings for the touchpad, language, dates and time, units, like if you want it in miles or kilometers per hour, tone, notification, pop-ups. You could do a software update too. And your driver profiles, which you can set specific things for different drivers, like specific settings. You also do have your vehicle status, like your tire settings. Shows you if you need to inflate the tires or not. Technology and action, driving information, and you have an onboard owner's manual. Notifications you can also view too, if you have any notifications about the system. But overall, love the BMW iDrive system. Nicely updated here, and it is one of the best in the business, but I wish it was a touchscreen. The 4 Series also comes with 3 different driver selectable modes that you can switch between. You have your sports mode, which changes the throttle response for the vehicle and tightens up the steering. You can also view the sport displays, which shows you the power and torque, the instant power and torque for the vehicle. And you can configure the sport how you would like. Do the drivetrain and chassis, or the drivetrain and chassis. And we also do have your comfort mode, which is for your everyday driving, definitely the most comfortable setting. And your eco mode, which is the most fuel efficient setting. And you can view your efficient dynamics, which shows you your instant fuel economy, and it gives you a little bar graph. But overall, you will notice that there is a huge difference between the different driving modes. Over here, you will find your safety technologies, some of them, such as your blind spot detection, as well as your pedestrian warning and your lane departure warning too. Coming to the gauges and the instrument cluster here, pretty typical BMW stuff here, nothing too out of the ordinary. I wish there was a TFT instrument cluster, but this works too. Just looks a little dated, but this is typical BMW fashion. On the left, you do have your fuel gauge, and you'll find your speedometer, as well as your tachometer on the right, and your oil temperature. It also shows you what safety technologies are on or off, and then down here you find your odometer, as well as your fuel range and all that good stuff. Space inside of the 4 Series, I particularly wouldn't say it's roomy, but you'll find that no matter how tall or big you are, there is a decent amount of space in here. And I found a pretty comfortable driving position. I'm about 6 foot tall, and not too bad inside of here. It may feel a little claustrophobic, but there's enough space to go around. Despite the Gran Coupe having a pretty sleek roofline in the back there, and sloping roofline, the visibility is actually not too bad when it comes to the rearward visibility, and there's plenty of glass area all around, and BMW made sure that you could still actually see out of this vehicle. Lots of glass area on the front windows, and the A-pillars are pretty narrow. Seeing out of the windshield is also pretty easy too. When it comes to driving the 4 Series here, you'll notice that the turbocharged 6-cylinder engine certainly provides
a lot of power, especially at lower RPMs. And there's plenty of power on tap here. I mean, with 320 horsepower and 330 pound-feet of torque, it certainly gives the 4 Series, certainly gets the 4 Series up and moving. And the 8-speed automatic transmission is refined in this vehicle, and BMW has been using this 8-speed for quite some time now, ever since the earlier in this decade, ever since like 2011, 2012. Excellent transmission, very responsive, and the steering and the handling are superb too. You'll notice that this vehicle is predictable and fairly precise, especially when going around sharp corners. And it does somewhat live up to the name of being the ultimate driving machine, but it also still is a very comfortable riding vehicle, very luxurious in its ride quality, and very compliant too. And that's because BMW is really trying to aim at the competition, especially with Lexus and Mercedes-Benz, which are very comfortable riding vehicles and very smooth. But the 4 Series here does offer a striking balance between good ride quality and decent handling here. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and shut down the vehicle. Let's go and check out the rest of the car. You also do have an automatic start-stop system in this vehicle, but it's not as intrusive as it was last year. You noticed it a whole lot when coming to a complete stop in this vehicle. But what the automatic start-stop system basically does is that when the vehicle comes to a complete stop, the engine will actually shut off to conserve fuel. Interior quality does follow through in the rear here, and you also find a rear adjustable headrest. The seats also do fold down, 60-40 split. But of course, if you get the Grand Coupe, get the convenience of having 4 doors. You don't have to struggle to get back into the rear seats. But there's a decent amount of legroom, and headroom is okay. You may have to duck your head a little bit due to the sloping roofline, but it's not too bad. You have dual map pockets back here, rear air vents, and the 12-volt power outlets, as well as a rear center armrest with dual cup holders. The seats themselves are fairly comfortable. Thigh support can be a little bit better though. You have a power liftgate. And when you get the Grand Coupe, of course, you do get much better versatility versus if you were going to go with the regular coupe. And you also do get crossover-like cargo space. You'll also find a 12-volt power outlet back here. So the 2018 4 Series Grand Coupe is an excellent choice, especially if you're looking for a vehicle that's versatile, fuel efficient, and has crossover-like utility. And with its fuel efficient and powerful powertrains, its refined driving dynamics, and its intuitive technology, no wonder why the 4 Series Grand Coupe is rising in sales year after year. So remember that this is Cameron Birch from Cameron's Car Reviews.